How's it going, crypto community? This is Jade Martian with the Martian Report. Shout out to all you XRP Martians out there tuning in. If you're not a part of the XRP Martian community, please smash that subscribe, join today. If you enjoy my video, also be sure to hit that like, and if you really enjoy it, ring that bell after. But now that I'm done plugging myself, let's jump straight into the article here, right? This article is featured on the IMF website in their news section. The article is either written by or I believe it was written by Christine Lagarde. And the article is titled "The Next Steps for International Cooperation in FinTech." So we've been covering a lot to do with the upcoming G20 in the last few videos, so we're going to continue on that narrative, and hopefully we'll be able to pull a little more insight from Christine Lagarde's article here, right? So these are the opening remarks by Christine Lagarde for the G20 high-level seminar titled "Our Future in the Digital Age." So, as prepared for delivery, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, minasan konnichiwa. I would like to thank Japan's Financial Service Agency for the opportunity to participate in this session focused on the importance of our future in the digital age, the opportunity and risks in financial innovation. It is appropriate that we are launching our discussion in Fukuoka. I don't know how to pronounce that Japanese city. I think it's Fukuoka. Anyways, why? Because Fukuoka is Japan's startup city. In each of the last 3 years, more companies have been started in Fukuoka than nearly anywhere else in Japan. And here in Japan and in Asia more broadly is where both the peril and promise of fintech have revealed themselves. It is in Asia where innovation in digital payments and verification systems first became mainstream. But it is also in Asia where we first saw the darker side of fintech, with concerns for consumer protection and privacy concerns bubbling to the surface years ago. Asia, like the rest of the world, is facing a defining moment: how to manage the risks of fintech without suffocating innovation. How do we keep up with rapid fintech innovation while making sure consumers and innovators feel secure in their investments? Technology always has and always will spur innovation in finance. The question is whether these innovations will benefit all or only a select few. If handled correctly, fintech can cut the costs of utilizing financial tools and enabling millions to fulfill their aspirations of building a better life. That is why I believe it is our shared responsibility to create a safe, sound, sustainable, and inclusive financial system protected from criminal abuse. The Bali FinTech Agenda. How can the IMF help with such an enormous task? Last year, at the request of our membership, the IMF and the World Bank developed the Bali FinTech Agenda. This agenda identifies 12 priorities that countries and other international organizations should focus on in the fintech space. We then surveyed our members about these elements, and 96 countries participated. Our finding will be released in a new joint IMF World Bank paper coming later this month. And this afternoon, I would like to share with you a few highlights, a sneak peek, if you will. First, countries overwhelmingly see fintech as transformative for financial inclusion. They recognize that inclusion plays a key role in promoting growth, opening access for poor and rural communities through lower costs, and facilitating women's participation in the formal economy. This is obviously something that most people in America are like, oh, they got all the rights, but this isn't real. For women don't actually have rights in most third world nations, like at all, if at all, right? So this is actually, I don't know how legitimate that is as regards to the fintech revolutionizing women's rights, but it could. You never know. But to continue on, indeed, as IMF research shows, fintech has helped to close the inclusion gender gap in some countries, but not everywhere. Gaps in access to technology are one explanation, but even when access is equal, it appears to be lower usage. There appears to be lower usage by women. For example, in Egypt, Ethiopia, and India, men are 20% points more likely than women to have their own phone. In Bangladesh, men are 22 percentage points more likely than women to have a mobile money account. And on Jade Martian's YouTube channel, men are 99.5% of my viewer population. So there you go, another example of fintech being disadvantageous or being adopted by a much larger portion of the male population than female. I couldn't imagine why that is. Women also tend to use digital services less than men, at least in some countries, possibly due to social norms or issues related to affordability and financial literacy. That is why we believe increasing financial literacy can help play a key role in generating higher gender participation in every economy. So, to the 0.5 percentage of female viewers in my community, maybe you could explain why it is that women just don't take an interest in technology. Why is this a man thing? Why is this a male dominated region? Because it's not like, y'all don't have the ability to invest in cryptocurrencies like us. I mean, 90% of my viewers are men. That's like boggling to my mind that there are so few women actually paying attention to this. And I'm not gonna lie, I think I know actually like 3 of the women that view this channel. So I don't know. Maybe you guys want to be able to help me since I already know why you're in this space. So to get back onto the point, where were we at? Oh, right here. So to get back onto the point, second, countries are asking for greater international cooperation in fintech. Nearly 80% mentioned cybersecurity as their most important priority. Around 60% listed anti-money laundering, legal and regulatory frameworks. Apologies. So another 40 cited payment systems, including cross-border. So I should note, Christine Lagard, this is her speaking, obviously not me. So I should note that these issues are already being discussed in the various international forums in which IMF staff participates, but countries want to see swifter progress. For example, crypto assets have been in use for several years, but even among the countries of the G20, there is no consensus on their regulatory treatment. The same is true about another issue discussed in our review, market concentration. A significant disruption to the financial landscape is likely to come from the big tech firms, who will use their enormous customer bases and deep pockets to offer financial products based on big data and artificial intelligence. These developments hold out the promise of accelerating inclusion and modernizing financial markets, but also raise, in addition to privacy issues, competition and market concentration concerns, both of which could lead to vulnerabilities in the financial system. China's technology industry is a prime example for this trade-off between benefits and challenges. Over the last 5 years, technology growth in China has been extremely successful and allowed millions of new entrants to benefit from access to financial products and the creation of high-quality jobs. But it has also led to 2 firms controlling more than 90% of the mobile payments market. This presents a unique systemic challenge to financial stability and efficiency, and one I hope we can touch on during the G20 and address in a cooperative and consistent fashion. Again, that was Christine Lagard's closing statement. So her conclusion is, so let me conclude. Everyone here and many around the world recognize that it is critical to continue the international dialogue on fintech. It is not as easy as it seems. Integrating different national approaches to crypto assets, non-bank fintech intermediaries, and the governments of data is crucial if we are to harness fintech's potential to promote greater financial inclusion and development. Yet at the same time, we have to find a way to preserve financial stability and integrity, protect consumers, and increase financial literacy. Hopefully my channel is at least contributing to that last point by increasing you, my viewers' financial literacy. Hopefully, some of you are feeling a little bit more informed in the space thanks to my mindless dribbles between these points that I read off here, right? So, back to the article. Here we can draw inspiration from the famous Japanese proverb, walk across the stone bridge only after you have tested its strength. We will cross the bridge together into the fintech future, but we will only do so once we are confident that bridge is safe and secure. Events like the one organized today are a critical part of this process. I congratulate our hosts and the government of Japan for taking on this important initiative. The IMF is proud to be your partner. Thank you very much. Domo arigato. So, that is Christine Lagarde's opening statement at the G20 high-level seminar on our future in the digital age. I hope you found it informative and educational and insightful. You know, it is very clear that at least the IMF is tired of, the hurry up and wait mentality that we have all grown tired of, I feel, in this market, especially those of us who have been around here since 2017. So all that I can say is that this seems super encouraging to me, right? Like, pardon me. I really can't wait to see what comes out of G20 this year. And I really just, I didn't feel like last year, 2018, like I went through most of the year like, oh yeah, this is going to be the last dip. This is going to be the last dip. But I never felt secure whenever the price was going up in 2018, right? Whenever we had our rally in April, May of 2018 in Bitcoin, back then, I wasn't confident that it was actually going to, break into a new range. I was like watching those descending resistances like, no, it's going to hit that. And sure enough, it did the whole year. And that's what ended up defeating me and making me think that it was going nowhere, especially when China came in, right? In the picture with the fact that they had capitalized on over 70% or however absurd amount of the mining power it was that technically enabled China to 51% attack Bitcoin if they so chose, right? That's why I got out of Bitcoin last year, because it was too centralized. I'm busy. But, so, at any rate, that will be the end of my video. Thank you for tuning in. Be sure, once again, hit that like, smash that subscribe, and be sure to ring that bell if you want up-to-date content from me. As always, I've been Jade Martian, and thank you for tuning into the Martian Report. I'll see you next time on Mars.